Miss Haley Reinhart. Welcome to the Walhalla Performing Arts Center first ever podcast, brought to you by Kiwi Creative and our buddy Jordan.
Thank you.
Excited to have you here. This is all new to me. I've done a lot of radio, but I know you've done a ton of radio and a ton of TV.
Yeah.
And just going through, of course, when I booked the show to get you here, I read up on your bio and was familiar, but like many people, I saw you on TV. And I didn't realize it's been a couple of years since you were on
Idol.
Yeah. I know there's 3 of them out there now, so I just want to make sure I did the right.
Mixed up. I know.
Yes, being an older guy, I know that they're so Idol. And since then, you've been all over the world. And as I teased you earlier, I can't believe how much you've done in the short time you've been around. So.
Thank you.
So incredible career and span of music. So I read on the early life, your parents, seem like it's a family thing, a dynamic, and most people stick to one genre of music, and you're covering everything.
I just love so much music. So it's always been in my world this way since my parents' band, and they're still together playing over 50 years now.
Wow.
So that's a testament. It showed me at a young age that you don't have to get put into a box. And specifically classic rock, I just grew so heavily influenced by that music, and as well as jazz and soul and pop, funk, like all of it. So it's fun to just create a set, build it to where you can play and really invite people on a journey with you. Right.
And being from the Chicago area, of course, that influence there. I'm sure that your parents, are you all from that area?
Yeah, my mom's south side, my dad's north side, and my dad's heavy blues guitarist, and he's a shredder, so I definitely grew up on blues as well. And mom's voice is gorgeous, and they grew up in the city, so especially back in the days, like the circuit was really just popping. So they were working, 7 nights a week and just killing it that way. So I'm just taking that torch and taking it on the road here in the U.S. and beyond, and it's been a good probably a decade for me as far as touring goes on my own, headlining.
So, and being from the different areas of the city there, the influence, I'm sure just even being around the Chicago area, the Illinois area, being from one side to the other, again, with all the music that comes out of Chicago, do they obviously gel together because they've done it all these years, your parents have, but what are their favorite styles? I mean, I know you said your dad blues, I mean, where is all that?
They primarily are total rock and rollers. But I mean, cool. in the house, I grew up listening to everything from classical to some heavy like kind of tribal beats to just proper jazz and the standards. So I grew up on the everyone from Ella Fitzgerald and Billie Holiday and Miles and Coltrane to Zeppelin and Beatles and Beach Boys and all the good stuff. So I feel blessed that I got to be a part of that. And I'll tell people at the show tonight, but I like to take the time to say it's a big part of my mission as an artist to just continue this torch of soul and rock and roll music and remind people it's alive and well.
Well, if you don't mind me saying, I mean, being that you're in your early 30s,
thanks.
That's a lot of music to cover. Most people that are your age they're not familiar with it. They've heard bits and pieces commercialized, somewhere on a movie or a TV show or a commercial. My poor kids were pounded with classic rock and classic country music. Because that's what I grew up on.
They're lucky.
And they love it. We go to Styx concerts together and we go to different shows. And so, I mean, the love for the music is exciting. And with everything you've been through, with all the education, I'm thinking, as much as your parents worked, they probably drug you. You probably spent a lot of time on the road as a kid, I would think.
I was the kid waltzing around the clubs and the festivals and talking to adults, since I was born. I truly was like brought into these places as an infant. So I got up on stage at probably around 6 or 7, and started singing with them that way. And funny enough, we've been touring in the South here, and I don't do country, but my first song I ever grew up performing was Blue, because I can yodel. So
okay, that's
it's
cool.
It's just funny how
Yeah.
things can. But even then in that genre, that space, I really have a love for it too. So especially old country. So
Yeah.
that was just a fun time,
Yeah.
fun thing to grow up into.
And the great thing, a testament to your parents, is, you hear so many of these different stories from these children of full-time professional musicians that go out, that their education is the road, but you not only have the road, but you have a ton of education in schooling. And so along with your love and passion, it looks like your background in coming up with all this, you've got it coming from both ends. So the history business side of the music industry, along with actually living it, which is rare for a lot of people. I know I've been involved in this kind of entertainment longer than you've been alive, and I've found with some of these new reality style shows
Right.
that the hard thing is these people come off these TV shows and they have incredible voices,
Yeah.
but they sang in church choir or at the school choir or where, but they've never had that formal, and then all of a sudden you've got them and people fall in love with them, but then they try to put them on the road and they haven't done the work. They're not seasoned. They don't know how to, you have to know how to engage in an audience, right? I mean, you have
Right.
to feel them out. I mean, back when I was a kid in the disco years, a great DJ knew how to read the room and play a song to keep the dance floor going. And I would think for
Yeah.
what you've learned from not only your experience, but all the years with your parents, it's critical, right?
You nailed it. I mean, they wouldn't come home, or I'd wait up for them till like 4 in the morning. I mean, their trajectory of their career has given me all the extra kind of knowledge and stamina for me to keep going, because I think about them in the circuit 7 nights a week doing 4 sets, and that's equivalent of whatever 6 hours, and
yeah.
they would be gone until 4 in the morning.
Wow.
And there was smoke that you could cut with the knife in the clubs.
Yeah.
So when I think about that,
Yeah.
when I'm tired, like today,
Yeah.
to be completely honest,
Yeah.
it does give me just that extra boost and a reminder that, number one, I love it, and I'd rather not be anywhere but here.
Right.
And also, it's just road life is not for the weak. It's
Right.
You
It's
have
not
to
easy.
really
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, if people just come from one corner of the industry and they think it's kind of just going to be easy after they got a viral video or something, you're in the wrong business.
Yeah, it's hard. It's tough. I mean, there's a lot of work.
The travel to even get from A to B is something that you just have to be prepared for, and just be able to roll with the punches, and make it work in whatever way you can. Find your little rituals and things that make you keep your sanity and your health and all those things.
Right, and that's a big part of it too.
Yeah.
Is having that balance on the road, because between like you say, the venues you go to, whether it's the drinking or the smoking or the life on the road, eating and
Right.
exercise, and
They don't always have a bed in the green room.
yeah, we're lucky. We've
Thank
got
you.
our Airbnb. Yeah, that worked out great.
It really did, honestly.
But it is. I know the road work is tough. I got to work with an artist on the road for about 12 years, and it's not easy. People say, "Oh, you're going to this great." Well, I know they didn't say. Your friends didn't call you and say, "You're going to Walhalla, South Carolina." Did you know they have a really good restaurant? We've got beautiful mountains and lakes, but I know you go to some really cool places, and you're in for the day. It's like an old Jackson Browne song.
Right.
I mean, you're loading up, or Bob Seger. I mean, you
have to make that decision. Do I go out and let loose tonight,
Yeah.
or do I take care of myself? It's definitely a balance,
Yeah.
and I used to take advantage, and I've seen so much already. So
Yeah.
now, like, sometimes I'll be like, okay, I know I have FOMO, but like I need to rest
Yeah.
a little bit. But it's been over 100 shows this year for me.
Wow,
So
that's a lot of shows.
yeah, it is. I just
That's-
counted, so I feel like
Yeah.
I've gotten this year and last year both have been insanely busy, and I'm grateful for it. I've definitely made up for lost time during, COVID and all that jazz.
Right.
So,
Well, that's in the industry. That's a lot of shows. I mean, and you still have December left.
Yes, I still have a proper Christmas holiday tour coming up with a couple of different artists like Peebo Bryson. So
wow, that's big.
Yeah, and I actually just did a show with him last night. So I played in, just to give a taste, I played in Gainesville, Georgia with my band. Then I flew the next morning and then drove 3 hours to get to to Mississippi. And I just played Jackson the night before, so it was backtracking.
Wow.
So then I drove in, played the show with Peebo last night, drove, a couple hours to Memphis, and then caught a flight early this morning
Flew into
at
Atlanta.
8 to Atlanta. So, and then we drove out here. So yeah, it's just, that's one little snapshot of just what it is,
Well, Peebo Bryson doesn't get much bigger than that. I mean, that's
we got to do Beauty and the Beast and a lot of his
great artist, incredible. I've been able to see him a few times, and that's a great show. So that's a big honor. Yeah,
it is. I do feel honored. I've gotten to work with, a lot of legacy acts and just some of my heroes like Robbie Krieger. I still do a bunch with him, and we just played the Whiskey and honoring, I think, 50 or 60 year anniversary.
Yeah.
So I do feel really honored to be a part of things like that.
Well, I don't want to keep you long, but I want to say, I know you said you don't really do country, but there was an artist that came out that was actually classified in the country label to start with, and then it kind of got a little bluesy, but you sang one of his songs and made it popular again.
Which one?
The King of Rock and Roll.
Oh, well, hey now.
Right?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Elvis.
Yeah. So, and right from where you flew in from, right?
Yeah.
In the Mississippi area there.
Yeah.
So.
That's true.
Yeah.
I did, make it more into a lullaby, a bit more of that intimate feeling, and it specifically for a commercial. They asked me to do a version that was like very intimate. So when I first cut that song, I was singing it more like Elvis, and then they said, here's the commercial. I was like, oh, I can watch it. That would be great. Yeah. And then I understood the tenderness of just the intimacy throughout the commercial that makes you want to cry. So I was like, okay, we'll take a stab.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, again, the range on everything you've got, I mean, you cover everything. So I'm sure you can sing everything. So we may have to get you to do we'll have to get you Dolly to write a country song for you. And
oh, how fun would that be?
What do you think?
I love her. She's just the best.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
So, well, I don't want to hold you up much longer. I know it's almost sound check, but this is really cool. We've not had this, but I'm excited that we've got this. Jordan's got it, and we've got you here for the show tonight. I know everybody's excited. The phone's ringing off the hook. So
good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it's a pleasure to have you here. So
thanks. Happy to be the first one too.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. And we didn't say any cuss words either, so we did pretty good,
we're doing
right?
Great.
No edits on this one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. I want to put a little piece out, so maybe, hey, what can we expect?
Oh, okay.
This night's show,
A little
and I'll
clip.
Put that out.
And
the next hour so that people can see it and maybe
cool.
join us and say,
Do you want me to just
ask that question, I'll edit it and just do a little clip.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you want to plug the Wahala PAC, or do you want me to just say for those listening right now?
Plug the Wahala PAC, but say, hey,
Okay.
you're going to be the
Okay.
performing arts center tonight.
Okay.
What can people expect? They didn't do a show before or something like that.
Okay. All right, so we're still cruising here. Okay, all right, we're on. All right, so Haley, I just want to, and I want to remind folks, we still have a few tickets left, wahalapac.com. You can call the box office. Emily will be down there all night. And just to give folks a preview, what kind of show, what would they expect to see tonight from Haley Reinhart and the band? What is the band? Is there an official name for the band, or is it just?
I call them the boys, but we have a lot of pet names.